What is up, RotoGrinders? Wheel Wednesday is back. It is a Wednesday here, 2 hours nonstop MLB DFS conversation, taking you all the way up to first pitch. Now, first pitch depends on what site you're shopping on tonight. 11 game slate on FanDuel. First pitch over there, 6:35. That's Pittsburgh, Baltimore. Paul Skeens. You get some Paul Skeens over there on FanDuel. 3 other games: Washington, Miami, Irving versus Yuri Perez, KC, Cleveland, Logan Allen, Jonathan Bowen, Clay Holmes, and Christopher Sanchez. The Mets and the Phillies are battling, of course. First pitch on DraftKings tonight. It is Carlos Rodon taking on Jack Flaherty at 7:05. Crunch time coming in normal time. We have Dave Potts, Cheeseisgood, as well as Chief Mineralogist Kevin Roth. Last I saw, weather is clean, weather is good. I don't think anything has changed. Nope, we're green pretty much everywhere. Nothing amazing as far as actual hitting environments that I can tell. There's a lot of low totals. The biggest total on the board is the Dodgers, almost 6, pushing 6 here against Kyle Freeland. No lineups there just yet. No surprise because it is a West Coast game. But besides that, I do not believe, unless something has changed, there's a team that is a total above 5. A lot of good pitchers on the slate tonight. Myself, Bobby Gomes. We're going to break it down here for the next hour and change until we yield to crunch time. Roth, Cheese, and TastefulTides. Tim Buell, our third piece to the Sunday show. Talking a little bit baseball later on. Bobby, happy Wednesday. 7-gamer DK, 11-gamer FanDuel. Be excited about the slate tonight?
Yeah, it looks like a fun DK slate. FanDuel starts at 6:30. We'll talk about some FanDuel stuff. Yeah, just ready to talk some baseball.
Some elite arms taking a bump. Logan Gilbert, Snell, not as great against a bunch of righties we're going to get here. Of course, the Rockies are pretty terrible. I think he's a little bit behind. Chris Sale, we'll have that conversation. Pavetta, also pretty good. Rodon when he's right, Flaherty when he's right. I think they're a little bit behind those pitchers. Maybe on a different slate, but I don't know about tonight. I only make so many lineups. Not sure if I'm going to get there. And again, slate's a little different on FanDuel. You have 4 extra games. And 1 more elite arm to throw in the conversation in Skeens. I shouldn't just say 1 because Christopher Sanchez is pretty good. It's just a tough matchup there against the Mets. And I'm seeing a lot of these temperatures in the 60s and the 70s. I'm scrolling down on Weather Edge. Nothing really popping on Weather Edge with the exception of Atlanta. Atlanta looks pretty good. It's 80. In a small sample, we have 22 games. Homers have jumped at 23%, but runs down at about 9%. Also, it's Chris Sale, so I don't know if you want to pick on Chris Sale necessarily, but Jameson Taillon certainly worth picking up with the Braves. What they're rolling out these days, not spectacular. I do kind of like Atlanta. We'll have that conversation soon enough. I see our guy Tim hanging out there in chat. Everybody else hanging out in chat.
Timothy, how's it going, my friend? It's good. It's good to see you in chat there, bud.
You call him Timothy as well. I feel like I haven't earned the right to call him Timothy. You go Timothy?
I can go Timothy.
All right. We don't have that kind of relationship, I guess. We do need 100 likes for the wheel to be active, the wheel to actually do its thing. I guess we'll spin it around 6 or so, depending on. And if you don't know, just to jump in the Discord channel, RotoGrinders.com/Discord. Again, RotoGrinders.com/Discord. Jump in the live stream chat channel. And producer Steve, he's dropped a post in there. It just says Wheel Wednesday. Right underneath it, it's got the RotoGrinders avatar. Just hit that button, click the avatar. I see some people doing it here in real time. And your name will be on the wheel. We'll give that wheel a spin. It's no longer rigged, Bobby. It's full. We got Ernst and Young. Both Ernst and Young are on top of it. They're going to make sure that the wheel is totally 100% legit. And spin it once, twice, depending on how many likes we get. We'll see. We'll see what kind of mood producer Steve is in about an hour or so. Yeah, it's scrolling there in the bottom if you didn't hear what I said as far as hitting the Discord channel up. All right. 11 gamer on FanDuel, a little bit different again. A few more games. The offenses are not necessarily great in these four environments, but you are getting Skeens to change things around. Did mention the Dodgers are king once again on this slate. Almost a 6 total. It's against the lefties, so you might have some pinch hit stuff as well. Like we're currently projecting Alex Call to start. Kike Enrique Hernandez a start. Max Muncy probably not starting, but those guys are lurking. Well, Muncy's one of those guys probably in a pinch, if necessary, they will probably take him off the bench. Now, no lineup just yet, but I would imagine he is sitting, which would also make sense. He's just come back from injury as well, so they probably wouldn't, push him too hard right out the gate. Screenshot, Bobby, how are you seeing the slates? Again, elite pitching. The hitting's not great. The Dodgers, sure, but everything else, team totals below 5, which is kind of like the line of, for me, well, good spot, bad spot. Obviously, there's a lot of gray in the middle, but curious how you're seeing tonight's slates.
Yeah. Basically for me, like the pitching is great on FanDuel. I think it's just Paul Skeens. I think you could go to Blake Snell in Colorado. If you wanted to, the win bonus is there, but it is Colorado, and Blake Snell doesn't have the greatest numbers versus right-handed bats. So for me, it's just easy going to Skeens. Then from an offensive perspective, love the Dodgers, like the Rays a little bit, fine with them. Atlanta Braves, like you said, versus Tyon, I think is fine. I don't mind Houston versus Berrios. Maybe that's a little off the board, I guess. Yeah. That's
no Altuve today, just a heads up. Jose Altuve getting a day off for the Astros. You mentioned the Braves, and one of the reasons why I like the Braves today is just because of Tyon and the homers he's given up this season. 1.95 home runs is just a lot. It's a lot, but that's per 9. I should specify. Just a pile of homers of just homer hunting on the slate, which I can see myself doing. I'm certainly into picking on Jameson Tyon, and again, it's one of the better hitting environments as well. As far as Snell, you mentioned that. I think it's worth talking about. The Rockies are bad. We know the Rockies are bad, but Snell is not elite against righties. 21.7% Ks. That's not elite. That's not even good. And 11.9% walks, which is bad. As far as giving up power, he hasn't given up power to righties. 124 ISO, but a 333 WOBA. We're expecting 9 righties, and collectively just 21.2% as far as striking out. So it's not, the worst of Colorado's iterations that they could roll out there. They're not that patient either. 7.2% as far as walks. There is some power, of course, with Doyle and Goodman and Beck. In a small sample, we've seen it out of Braxton and Fulford. Not sure how real that is, but yeah, ownership wise, and I got to hit refresh because we're getting more lineups coming in here. And I want to try to bounce back and forth. We're going to mostly focus on DraftKings, but I do want to acknowledge what's going on FanDuel. We'll throw those FanDuel teams on the tier board when we get there. But ownership-wise on DK, we got a roster 2, and it's a smaller slate. You got a roster 2 of 14, and some of the 14, are, I don't want to say unrosterable, but kind of unrosterable. What's interesting to me is, Gilbert's getting 41% ownership as of right now, and we're seeing 36% for Snell. Similar price, 9.7, 9.5. Pavetta just a tick cheaper at 9K at 32%, and Chris Sale at 23%, which is, to me, I think he's got the highest upside. I think maybe Gilbert does. Depends on as far as the K rate this season. If you're going to kind of like line them up together, Gilbert does have the biggest K rate in the year at 33.9%, and Sales at 31.8%. Skeens at 29. Pavetta at 26 and change. We're going to kind of run down that top list. Snell, not even that great. Just you include lefties. There's no point in including lefties because, again, we're not expecting to see any. But in the year for Snell, almost 24%, which is not elite. It just isn't. The ERA has been okay, and we expect he gets the win, assuming he sticks around for 5 innings. The offense should put up some runs for him. But how would you rank it? You kind of ran it down. You kind of touched on it. Gilbert, Snell, Pavetta, Sale. You have like a 1 through 4 ranking for me?
Yeah, it'd probably be Gilbert. We're talking DK specifically, correct?
Yeah.
It'd be Gilbert. I'd probably go Sale. Then Pavetta. I don't hate Snell. Like if you're playing at 150 teams, you should definitely have Snell exposure. From there, really, I like Jack Flaherty's fine versus the Yankees. I don't mind that. Andrew Abbott's in the mix. Going to the low tier, it'd probably be me, McGreevy, and Kyle Freeland are the only people that like would be tournament darts that I'd even consider, really, because pitching is just pretty strong up top.
You want to know what our Kyle Freeland projection is? I mean, he's 5K, so like anytime you have a live arm and a guy that could theoretically throw 6 innings, I guess you can roster him, put him in the pool.
He's gonna get smashed, but yeah, I think he's fine at throwing the pool.
Yeah, if you're running 150 and if you want to double down in like a Dodger fade or something,
he wouldn't be on my top 20 teams. I can assure you.
Same, yeah, definitely not. We are projecting, for what it's worth, about 6 and change DK points at 5K.
I do think McGreevy versus Seattle is someone you can kind of consider. Like it's in a good ballpark. The K rate's not there, but Seattle can strike out. So I don't like McGreevy would definitely be my favorite of the cheaper guys.
It's just the 14% K rate, right?
Yeah, the 14% K rate, but Seattle's gonna K. Just want to pull up their K percentage. Mariners.
He throws strikes. So, like, if Babbitt's on his side, then
around
there you go.
20% as a team. So, like, yeah, I'm fine with some McGreevy. But, like, there's no – these are just, like, plays that are in play because of the price tag.
Yeah. Griffin Jackson's 4K, but he's not going to stick around. He's, like, 1 or 2 innings or something like that. So, I can't imagine that you're rostering a relief pitcher there. So, I can't imagine rostering him. Just kind of working backwards on, players that you may or may not consider rostering. Just got the Reds, by the way. Let's see what Cincinnati's Reds lineup is, because I see that there's a couple players that are in there that we were not anticipating. Let's see. Friedel, Marte is in the 2-hole. De La Cruz, Hayes, Lux, the rookie Stewart, Stevenson, Hayes, and McLean. So we were anticipating Steer and Trevino, but they're not in there. So cross them off the list if you're into Cincinnati tonight against Pavetta. Probably not, but I guess you could play anybody, and it's your lineups. Do what you want with them. All right. Anybody else that? I just think it's really straightforward as far as pitching, and I'm just going to find the salary, and I just give me 2 of the elite arms. I want to see what we're getting if I run some optimal stuff and see if I'm getting a pairing like 2 of Sale, Gilbert, Snell, Pavetta. I guess you can throw it in that conversation. I ever done a little bit behind them. Not saying you can't do it, but I have like a 5th or 6th. Flaherty and the Yankees feels like you play both sides of that one. You can play some Flaherty, you can play some Yankees. You want to take a stand one way or the other. Let's see. Ownership-wise, I ran some optimal stuff. I'm getting Gilbert at the threshold, right? Yeah, I'm getting Gilbert at 80%. That's the most I was going to allow is 80%. So he's coming in pretty strong on DK. Pavetta, Snell, Flaherty, Rodon, Sale. It is interesting that Sale is dead last. And it's not sending me dumpster diving at all. For what it's worth, this is the bat. I'm curious what RG projections probably going to give me something similar. If I run it again, but no nonsense. 6 actual good pitchers is what I was getting was getting spit out here to me. I wonder if RG projections are going to do the same. Yeah, very similar. Gilbert, Snell, Pavetta, Sale, Rodon, and Flaherty. So more Sale with the RG projections. Flaherty in the 6-hole, but nothing beyond that. This is DK.
What is your favorite? Would you put Sale's your favorite?
If this is the way ownership is going to be reflected,
then yeah.
Yes. Yeah, he's the lowest owned amongst the elite guys. We're seeing 41% for Gilbert, and I get it. Home against St. Louis. It didn't work out last night. I think it hasn't worked out a couple games here for the Mariner pitchers against St. Louis, but they are a bad offense. They're bad against righties specifically. It's a tough ballpark. Gilbert's got a career high K rate. I'm not sure how much they're pushing him these days. I feel like he's had his pitch total just kind of pushed down a little bit. Yeah, 86, 93, 93. 65 was that really tough outing against Philadelphia, right? Yeah, that was just 2 innings, 79. So they're not really pushing him too hard. So, but I mean, he can get the job done in like 89, 90 pitches or something like that. But if you're telling me Sale is going to be half the ownership and like the fourth amongst the Snell, Pivetta, Gilbert, and Sale, give me Sale.
I think Sale is definitely the correct pivot. In line for the win, strikeout should be there. I'm for the Sale play for sure. Off Gilbert.
Did we get? I think we got PCA in this lineup, and you want PCA in the lineup. Yeah, they're batting him ninth, which is interesting. I understand why they're doing it because he strikes out 30.3% of the time against lefties. His WOBA is 257, which is really bad. He's shown a little bit of power against lefties, the 200 ISO, but also completely impatient, 2.9% as far as the walks. That's one of the we talked about this months ago, that he was striking out too much and he wasn't walking enough, and like this has to come crashing down. You know, he was overachieving. Not to say he's bad, but we sort of saw this coming. Any other lefties? He's the only lefty in there, right? Yeah, he's the only lefty.
He's the only lefty in there. Hap's going to be from the right side tonight, so yeah, he's the only lefty.
And there's some power, right? It's there's still a good hitting lineup. It's not a great strikeout lineup, 20.2% collectively. It's just Swanson and PCA as the ones that are too appealing, that are appealing for strikeouts. But Sale this season, the same amount of strikeouts, 31.5% versus lefties, 31.5% against righties. And it was 31.2% versus righties last year. So, he's just been consistent like that. I do like Sale if we're assuming that ownership is correct. I do want to jump over and talk about FanDuel. And again, Skeens is the one that's really interesting on FanDuel. Let me give a refresh and see where we're at. And
is there really a pivot on FanDuel from Skeens?
Well, we currently have it as Gilbert 20% at 10.2. Skeens is like, you got to pay all the way up. He's the most expensive at 10.8.
If you want to go to Snell, I think it's there, but that's the Snell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get an extra bat if you take Snell because he's 9.1. Gilbert's 10.2. Snell's 9.1. Skeens is 10.8. Pavetta's 10. Sale's 10.7. Even Sanchez is 10.5. So it's a meaningful difference. And I bet that's going to get some ownership stuff. You're going to get an extra bat if you roster Snell.
Houston, Toronto, get some KC. Yeah, I like the Snell fit. It just makes it's going to be if you're playing Snell, obviously you're going to be on the edge of your seat for the entire game. So
that's the thing. It's like Snell's the guy that's getting pumped out in the most lineups that I'm seeing. I still don't. If I'm making one main lineup on FanDuel, it's not going to be Snell.
Yeah, it's going to be for you. Yeah. I don't know. I think the pivot is there, though. He has the win equity. Yeah, it stinks that he's getting 9 right-handed bats, but they are the Rockies. I know it's cool.
Yeah, I mean, officially they have not released their lineup, but that is the projection, and that's what makes sense. They'll probably roll out 9 righties. And they're not great, but there is some power there. It's just that too many walks and not enough strikeouts this year versus righties for Snell. Like you said, the walks just and there's nothing you can do when he lost his control, and it doesn't matter how bad the hitters may be. And Snell's dropping in over 40% of the FanDuel apps I've made, just kind of like using the optimizer with some variance. Then Gilbert, then Skeens, Sanchez, Sale, Rodon, all those guys getting like 1%, 2%, 3%, Pivetta as well. So it's basically a 3-man race that I'm seeing is Snell, Gilbert, and Skeens on FanDuel. I do not anticipate dumpster diving. You kind of touched on it really quickly as far as
I don't think you have to, but I feel like it's just worth talking about.
Yeah. It's definitely not something I'm going to do, but I understand why somebody would do it. Let's see. We need 75 likes. Producer Steve's telling us 75 likes to get us home, to spin the wheel. If you guys are joining us late, and if we get to 100, we'll spin it twice. We'll give out 2 individual weeks. RG Premium, football, baseball, basketball, hockey, NBA, PGA. We're talking today, Bobby. NBA, the 21st of next month. So it's coming soon. It's coming soon. I feel like it keeps starting earlier than it used to. I thought like Halloween was the time when it usually came back, and this is 10 days before Halloween. Did you see that the NBA came out? I don't know how much basketball you watch, Bobby, but like I'm sure you've seen it when there's like 1 second to go, you inbound the ball, and the player doesn't want their field goal percentage to go down, so they don't shoot it like 90 feet away. So they'll bounce it and dribble, hear the buzzer, and then throw it. Like, oh, I just missed the clock. And too many people were getting their shooting percentages, down. So they wiped that out. That's going to be called going forward just like a team shot. Unless they make it, I assume then all of a sudden they'll get credit for it. So now you're going to get to watch the half-court heave. The players aren't going to be pretending like
Pritchard will probably knock down one or two.
Say, who's going to do it?
Peyton Pritchard.
Yeah, well, he's actually the one guy. He's actually great at it.
He's great.
Like they sub him in. They sub him in for it. I think Joker's pretty good. He's like willing to take the shot that a lot of other players just like they care about their shooting percentage. Okay. Other cheapies. Is there anybody else worth mentioning? Just kind of throwing out some names. Jason Alexander, Barrios, Tyon is a no for me.
Sean Burke.
Talk to me about Sean Burke.
Like, there's not much to talk about. It's first the Rays. I think the Rays are probably the second best stack on the team. It's more just looking at it. His price tag. Like, I don't love Sean Burke at all, but these are just darts. I'm saying, like, if you're playing 150, I think you're fine to get Burke. You're fine to get McGreevy. You're fine to get Freeland a little bit. Just dart throws, really.
So in the season, Burke 21% Ks, 23.2% versus lefties. How many lefties are we seeing? 1, 2, 3, 4, about 6, I think, if I counted that correctly. It's a pretty contact-heavy lineup, though. Simpson at 10%. Obviously, not a lot of punch in that bat, but he's going to make contact. Diaz is another big contact guy. Mangum, 14.6%. It's about as contact-heavy as a lineup can be. Really, really small sample. Carson Williams has struck out a lot, but I don't know if that's a true number at 38%. They're asking about Wells in chat, Bobby. Wells is throwing baseballs for Baltimore, taking on the Pirates. We know the Pirates are pretty terrible. On FanDuel, you got to get it right. I don't know if you need that salary. I mean, would you consider Tyler Wells? I feel like you need like a top 3 or top 4 pitching score. Can he do that? I guess.
I don't like, yeah, it's in the range of outcomes, but I'd rather just pay up. Like,
that's my thought.
I don't see this Baltimore team hitting Skeens. So, yeah.
Unlikely to get the win. There are a lot of – it's just tough because this Pittsburgh lineup, there's a lot of players that have small samples, but it's bad. What we're seeing in here, and a lot of strikeouts in the back end. Triolo, Horwitz, Reynolds, Pham, Cruz, York, Devaney, Bay, and Henry Davis.
I just don't. He's not gonna be in line to get the win. Imagine. So.
Yeah. It's not. Yeah, that's a bad lineup, but. I don't know if you need the win. You want the win. They'll take the quality start, right? You don't need offense for a quality start, but you got to throw 6.
Do you think he can get the quality start to get there? Like he probably can versus lineup.
Against this lineup, I think it's possible.
600.
I don't.
Yes, in tournaments on FanDuel, Wells is fine. Yeah.
I'm trying to see. He threw 6 innings once this year. If I'm scrolling down correctly. I guess it just doesn't seem necessary is sort of the conclusion. Can he? Sure. I just don't think it's necessary. Okay. But pitching is pretty straightforward. Is there anything else we should say as far as pitchers?
I think we pretty much covered everything. Is there we're doing a wheel today?
Yeah, Bobby. You know about the wheel? We're spinning the wheel? You've seen the wheel before, right?
I haven't been on a Tuesday show in a while.
Well, Bobby, I hope you're sitting down.
There's no film that you have today that we can guess at. There's no.
Well, on Tuesday we do Television Tuesday, but I'm going to blow your mind, Bobby. It's Wednesday.
Oh, it's Wednesday? Yeah, Wednesday. I was up at 7 a.m. today. The day's just rolling to the next at this point. 6 a.m. yesterday.
I know, man. You're busy. I know you're probably all over the place, and you got kids to look after and a whole deal. But they're asking in the chat if they can smell what the Rock is cooking. Is that Kyle Freeland? Because he's a Rocky? Is that what we're doing?
I didn't get the Rock. So yeah,
I think it's a Rocky reference.
I was actually looking up Fast and the Furious last night because I
were watching Fast and Furious.
Watched Tokyo Drift.
Isn't that the worst one?
My friend's father's the kid in the movie, so we not the kid in the movie. Sorry, the kid's dad in the movie.
Okay.
So we all joke around that's like his brother, his stepbrother.
But I'm not familiar.
What?
It is the worst one in the series, right? There's like 7 or 8. Isn't?
So I don't think it's the worst because they're all pretty terrible outside of the first one. Okay. But it introduces my favorite character in the movie, which is Han. I guess I like Han a lot.
I don't remember which one Han is. I've seen like at least half of them. I've seen some of them.
Yeah,
but I'm not sure I know who Han is necessarily.
They're all the same after one pretty much or 3.
Yeah, well, they get progressively more ridiculous, which is fine. Yeah. That's what you signed up for. That's what I think the people want. Devin in chat saying Tokyo Drift is the best. I don't know. Okay, I can't say. I for some reason in my head I thought it was the worst. Was Fast 5 bad? I thought Tokyo Drift was the bad one that people don't like.
I always thought Tokyo Drift was bad, but yeah, I don't know. I liked it last night. Compare it because I've seen the other ones now and they're all terrible. So I'm like, this is actually, I know Chop really likes Fast and the Furious. I don't want to go too hard.
I don't know if Chop's lurking or not. I feel like Chop might have did a power ranking for us, a previous power ranking when it comes to the Fast and the Furious movies. Okay, that's pitching. Nothing else to talk about as far as pitchers. We'll talk about some stacks here in a second. I mentioned you can win yourself some RG Premium. You can always just go ahead and pay for it. If you want a nice discount, we're running a promo for Combo Pro for a limited time. You can get your first month of Combo Pro for just $79 and change, which is only $5 more than NFL, the NFL DFS monthly sub. NFL a la carte is just $5 cheaper. First month, you get yourself football, baseball, basketball, hockey, NBA, WNBA, PGA, LOL, all the goods, all the bells, all the whistles, the optimizer, SimLabs, the articles. You get Dave's articles, you get the expert rankings, you get the tags, tons of NFL content, too much stuff to run down. But give that a whirl. You got producer Steve showing it off there on the screen, and check out the link in the description as well for more information. Okay, so today's tiers, Bobby, I gave you a little sneak peek about it. We talked about it pre-show. You asked me, and sometimes we like to keep it organic, but I feel like sharing. Today's tiers, made them earlier today, was the reason, what inspired it. It's Raymond Cruz's birthday, and you might not know who Raymond Cruz is.
I have no idea.
Maybe producer Steve can throw a picture on the screen. It's Raymond Cruz's birthday, age 61. He's been in a variety of things, but to me, what he's most famous for is he plays Tuco on Breaking Bad. Tuco is what he's known for me. There you go. There's his picture. Shocked though, he was 61. I figured he'd be younger than that. He doesn't seem that old in Breaking Bad. Tuco Salamanca, if you want to get all technical. So then I went ahead and just ranked some likability. Some of the bad people on Breaking Bad. Didn't get all the characters. There's a ton of characters, obviously, but tell me this in chat. Who's your favorite, most beloved character on Breaking Bad, or your least favorite? Who do you dislike the most?
I feel like chat's watched a lot of Breaking Bad. You probably know this pretty good.
I think a lot of people have watched a lot of Breaking Bad. Everybody with the exception of you, Bobby. You mentioned you tried to watch it, and for whatever reason, I guess it just didn't take. You did not enjoy it. You stopped at some point in season 1. just for the record, it's one of those shows that every season it's not like the Fast and the Furious movies.
Everyone said this. I just never got through it.
It gets better and better and better and better. And it fifth season's better than the fourth season better than the third season, yada, yada.
It's rare to see that, right?
You don't see it.
You don't see it.
Nobody. That's part of the greatness of that show. Everything just kind of builds. And I think most would say that have seen the show, 2 is better than 1, 3 is better than 2, 4 is better than 3. Yeah. And it closes out incredibly. And they left on top. They didn't overstay their welcome. But yeah, so I went ahead and power ranked some of the more likable to least likable characters on Breaking Bad. We got Saul Goodman, Better Call Saul. Saul Goodman. He's in the number 1 hole.
He's a DFS player, right?
Well, I think he. Well, I think that's a different person you're thinking of.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure it's a different person, but also a character in Breaking Bad, and so much fun. He had his own little spinoff show, Better Call Saul. He's in the 1 hole. Gustavo is in the 2 hole. I don't want to give any. I was going to give some spoilers away, but whatever. People have either seen it at this point, or it's on you because it's been like 15 years. But yeah, Gus is in the 2 hole. Tuco Salamanca is in the 3 hole. We got Skyler, of course, Walter White's wife, Skyler, and Todd is a pretty bad dude, pretty bad guy. I think he's pretty obviously in the 5 hole, but I guess that's up for debate. But he does some bad things. He is in the 5 spots, but that is my rankings. Of course, there's lots of other options, but you cannot rank everybody. Okay, so Bobby, we are going to touch on the FanDuel games. 11 games on FanDuel, 7 on DK. We got plenty of time. We have 40 minutes until crunch time comes in. Dave Potts, Cheeseisgood. We have Chief Mineralogist Kevin Roth, as well as TastefulTides, Tim. And do you want to give it a refresh again? I don't think anything is brewing when it comes to weather. Yeah, I'll drop this in chat just to confirm. But yeah, just nothing really going on. Green in San Fran. Roth, I think Roth is just bored because he just starts talking about weather and rain and why it doesn't rain this time of year in California. He hasn't really had any sweats all week, I don't think, as far as precipitation. But maybe, knock on wood, hopefully that doesn't come anytime soon. He's probably enjoying the lack of having to make a call. Yeah,
I like when he gets tested.
I
Personally.
do too. Well, but I don't want it to affect my lineups, but I like to see him on his toes. Yeah,
I like to see him. I like to see him on the hot seat.
Yeah, especially when he's on a boat and then and having like a family vacation or something like that, and he's still got to make a tough call. But Roth usually he's pretty clutch. He'll get it right. But tonight, unless things change, he looks like he's going to be coasting later on. First game we're talking about, you sort of alluded to liking Paul Skeens. It's the Pirates and the Orioles, 7 total. A lot of low totals in this slate. Both these teams have team totals below 4. Pittsburgh a minus 156 favorite against Tyler Wells. We kind of ran down that Pirates lineup. It's pretty pathetic. There are some Baltimore pieces that are interesting, but they're facing Paul Skeens. Do with that what you will. They're not expected to score a ton of runs. Where do you want to throw the Pirates and Baltimore?
Yeah, so for me, the Orioles, it's pretty easy, right? We're going right to the bottom at Todd. Whoever Todd is, we'll throw them in Todd. There's really no
Jesse Plemons.
I want a roster on the Orioles. Jeremiah Jackson at 2.9 on FanDuel might be something, but I probably wouldn't do it.
You've seen this guy before, right, Bobby? You recognize this character? Not necessarily from Breaking Bad, maybe Friday Night Lights.
He's in Black Mass. He plays Kevin Weeks.
Yeah. Weeks. He's married to Kirsten Dunst.
Yeah.
I think he's in that the Flowers, the recent Scorsese movie, if I'm not mistaken. I think he's in that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got Baltimore and Todd, and then what else do we have?
Then we'll go Pittsburgh. We'll throw Pittsburgh in. We will throw Pittsburgh. Tyler Wells is fine. I don't mind playing some of these Pittsburgh bats against him. I would throw Pittsburgh in Tuco. I think
Okay.
Pittsburgh's fine in Tuco. I know that might be a little high for most people. People were saying they like Tyler Wells. I don't know. Fam's a professional hitter. Triolo. O'Neill Cruz is there in the 5-hole still. So, yeah, I think Jihan Bay, you know what I mean? They're not terrible. Cam Devaney, they're terrible, but
Yeah.
I'm not saying – I don't think Tyler Wells is fantastic, so I'll middle them.
Okay. Washington and the Marlins, 8.5 total. Yuri Perez, who's been rough of late. He's not been sharp at all. He's gotten beaten up his last 2 times out. Jake Irvin taking on the Marlins. Abrams and Wood certainly are interesting pieces here. The ballpark obviously stinks. Marlins are favored, -162, despite, Yuri Perez has been a kind of a hiccup of late, last couple times out, not necessarily closing strong. Where do you want to put Miami and Washington?
Yeah, Washington we can throw in the middle again. Like you said, Wood and Abrams would probably be my favorite on Washington. From there, if we're looking, I would consider the Marlins as probably one of the lower end teams on the slate for me. I know it's first Jake Irvin. I just don't really love many Marlins bats, so I'm going to throw them. I'll throw the Marlins and Skylar White.
It's a bummer they don't have Stowers. They basically said that they're shutting him down and probably not going to see him the rest of the season. Kyle Stowers, he's probably donezo for the year. Jacob Marcy's been awesome. He's been kind of a surprise here for Miami in the 2-hole, 231 ISO, 406 WOBA against righties this season. I do like him. He's got some speed as well. But yeah, beyond that, it's just hard. It's hard to get excited about some of these guys. It's not good. Noah Agustin Ramirez as well. It's just
Noah
the
Agustin
ballpark
Ramirez,
stinks.
bummer.
Not that Urban's good. Urban doesn't strike anybody out. 15% Ks is pretty brutal. He gets hammered by lefties. Righties get him good too. He's just one of the weaker pitchers on the slate. It's just hard to see how Miami takes advantage of it. But I guess if forced, I would play Miami. If I only could play Miami or Jake Irvin, I would play Miami. But that's not necessarily the predicament. All right. So you got the Marlins in Skylar White. You have Washington in Tuco. We shall move along. Yeah, some people joining us late. We are including the 4 FanDuel games. It's a 6:35 start. DK and FanDuel did not cooperate, so they didn't line up. DK's including just the 7 games that start from 7:05 beyond. But we wanted to include the FanDuel stuff. Moving along, there's 2 more games that are being played on FanDuel. They're not on DK. It's Kansas City and Cleveland. Jonathan Bellin, as well as Logan Allen. It's an 8 total. It's a coin toss. Both these sides here are -110. What do we like as far as the offenses here in Cleveland?
Yeah, not really interested in Cleveland bats. We can throw them down.
Bullpen game for Kansas City.
Yeah, not interested. We can throw them. We can throw Cleveland and Todd. KC. I think Kansas City's fine in the middle with Turco versus Logan Allen. In terms of I like Vinny Pasquantino a little bit. I don't mind getting to Salvatore Perez. I don't mind getting to Bobby Witt. I think those guys are fine. Rychuk's down there versus the lefty. Jackie Cagg's your boy. So Royals are fine in the middle. They're not fantastic. Someone said in chat, a lot of this ownership is going to condense the Dodgers up top.
Yeah. Caglione in a small samples hit lefties pretty well as far as power, but striking out at 24%, walking at 2%. If I remember correctly, it's only a 50 at-bat sample, so he had that 450-foot homer off the lefty to dead center. Might have been his first homer in his career. I do remember watching that. Logan Allen against lefties this season, pretty good. 121 ISO, 288 WOBA, a little bit more vulnerable to righties. 157 is the ISO, and 343 is the WOBA. So, yeah, your Caglioni's is cheap, right? I don't know if you need it. Perez has been much better versus righties this year, surprisingly. And left on left for Vinny P. He's been all right, but not as good, of course. Just kind of a tough spot. And the bullpen game on the other side, we're expecting a couple innings at a Bolin, and then we'll see. I don't know if there's a long man that's been announced, but not really sure who's coming in afterwards. Last of the 4 games that are on FanDuel that are not on DK. So far, by the way, none of these teams, and rightfully so, in my opinion, none of these teams in the top 2 tiers, Bobby. Nobody hanging out with Better Call Saul Goodman, and Gus is all alone as well. Does somebody join him here? I don't know. Mets, producer Steve's Mets against the Phillies. Christopher Sanchez, Clay Holmes. The Phillies are favorite here, minus 158. Trey Turner is out for a while if you missed it. I think he's done for the regular season, they're saying. Maybe I missed. Is that correct? I feel like he's going to be out for a while, possibly back for the playoffs. He's at least on the IL. Bader's doing the leadoff work now with Schwarber, Harper, Real Muto, Marsh, Kepler, Kemp, Stott, and Donnie Walton. Mets are rolling out Lindor, Soto, Vientos. Soto, by the way, on fire. I know people earlier in the year were saying what a terrible signing that was, but he's been spectacular in the last few months. Polar Bear batting fourth, Marte, Nemo, Alvarez, Siri, and Acuna. How do you see the Mets and the Phillies on the board? Producer Steve is trying to do some mojo here.
To go again for the Mets, Schwarber, Harper, Kepler, those guys stand out. And then I would say, actually, sorry, not for the Mets. The Mets would go in Skylar White. The Phillies would go in to go, like I said, Schwarber, Harper, Kepler. Mets, you hit on Soto. I don't mind Alonso. Let's look through who else. Nimmo, I think, is fine. I hate playing Starling Marte, but you can for 2,500 on FanDuel.
I never play him. Yeah,
he's so bad, but yeah, that's pretty much this game.
Yeah, and Marte is one of those guys sometimes gets pinch hit for if Reddy comes in, and I don't really want to pick on Christopher Sanchez anyway. Sanchez has been pretty awesome this season. Almost 26% as far as the Ks, doesn't walk anybody, 5.8%. Pretty good walk rate. ISO both sides, 44 ISO versus lefties. That's just dominant. I mentioned liking Soto, and he's hit lefties this year just fine, but it's just not the spot for me. And against righties, 107, just really, really good, and getting a ton of ground balls as well. Does he have the biggest ground ball rate on the slate? He does. Yeah, that's what I thought.
He has the biggest ground ball rate pretty much on every slate, right? Sanchez.
Most of the time, right? Most of the time, he's one of the best ground ball guys in all of baseball. Now I'm curious where he's at percentile-wise. Pulling it up. I'm looking at Savant. Yeah, he's in the 96th percentile ground ball rate in baseball. All right, so you get the Mets in Skyler and the Phillies in Tuco. Really, like the FanDuel early slate, like of course you can do whatever you want. It's baseball, but it's just basically, do you want to play some Paul Skeens? I guess you can play some Sanchez. None of the offenses look particularly good. Will somebody get there? Maybe. But nothing on paper, nothing pre-flop suggests, you have to get in there. And hey, if you just want to wait, you can just, sign up for your FanDuel contest and chill and just plug in a pitcher and just kind of backload it. You can do that as well. All right. Now we have entered the DK slate as well as the FanDuel slate. Carlos Rodon, Jack Flaherty in New York tonight, 8 total. It's going to be in the 60s. We're looking at kind of a crosswind from left to right. Yankees are heavily favored, minus 172. Grisham, Judge, Bellinger, Rice, Stanton, Jazz, Wells, Caballero, and Ryan McMahon against Flaherty. And then Jones starting the other side for Detroit. Pinch hit alert if when Rodon gets the hook. Torres, Perez, Torkelson, Green, Ibanez, Dingler, Meadows, the lefty in the 8-hole, and then Baez. Yeah, Kerry Carpenter is going to spell Jahmai Jones. Very likely, assuming that situation is called for when it's as a bat, like in the 7th or 8th inning. Detroit and New York, what do you got?
Yeah, Yankees, we're going to put them in this Gus Fring tear. Sorry, read that wrong. Grisham's been on fire. Love Ben Rice tonight. Judge, obviously, Stanton. Those would be like my main Yankees, but the whole stack's pretty much in play. And then for Detroit, I'm going to go Tuco. Probably be on the low end of Tuco versus Rodon, but I still think they have some power. Whether it's Torres, Torkelson, Dingler, like I don't mind Riley Green. I know it's left on left, but yeah, that would be how I would rank these two teams.
So we're still so hold on a second. Do I not see New York? Is producer Steve, did he have to wander off for a second? Is producer Steve still with us? We're still live, right?
Yeah, he's still live here.
We got to get the Yankees and Detroit thrown on the board here. I'm not sure if we lost Steve or not. Is it possible he's just not with us? I don't know. Let us know if you're here. Yeah, Steve, where Bobby, tell Steve where to put the Yankees once again and Detroit.
Gus Fring. I don't know why I keep making that mistake and
Gustavo
name wrong. And then we'll put Detroit in to go.
All right, moving along. Jason Alexander, Jose Barrios, 8.5 total. Toronto's a -156 favorite. Again, two more teams that have a team total below 5. Astros below 4. No Jose Altuve for Houston. I always kind of get excited with Toronto when they're facing a righty and Varsho's in the lineup because his numbers this year versus righties are pretty spectacular. A 440 ISO, a 414 WOBA. It's pretty incredible. George Springer's not slowing down either. And Jason Alexander this year is really, really vulnerable to lefties. A 260 ISO, a 385 WOBA. And, we're talking about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lefties. Not the greatest collection of lefties, but I would say Barger and Varsho are pretty appealing. And Loperfido is, a cheapie that's worth a look. He's got some pedigree as well, kind of buried in that lineup. But you tell me, where do you want to throw Houston and Toronto?
I just shouldn't have turned on Twitter. Yeah, for Toronto, probably be, I would say, I like the Toronto bats overall. I wrote up Vlad. I'm going to put them in the middle, but I think they definitely have more ceiling than that. Where do I? What's the name of the middle one? Sorry, no, I'm off the screen. Tuco. Oh yeah, Tuco again. And then from there, I would go. Just trying to figure out what I want to do with Houston. I like Houston a good bit. Houston's like Yordan Alvarez, I think, is in a really good spot tonight. So for me, Houston would be in. I'm going to put them up in the second tier there.
All right. Houston in the Gus Fringe tier. We got Toronto and Tuco. I would flip that personally. That's just me. This is your board, Bobby. It's your board. I like Toronto more.
You like Toronto more than Houston?
Yeah. I mean, and the Yordan thing, like, I like Art. He's great, but he's going to be really, really popular. The price, for whatever reason, is not kind of worked its way up to where it should be. And I don't know if he's the best one-off because I think a lot of people are going to use him as a one-off, but
we can bump Houston up a ranking. Nade's like them in chat too. I respect Nade's.
Toronto, you mean?
So yeah, we can bump up Toronto.
Yeah, I do like Toronto tonight. Again, there's not
Vlad, Varsho, Springer. I don't mind at all. I do hate that, like, with Houston, you're not getting Altuve.
Yeah.
But I do like Christian Walker and Jesus Sanchez, along with Yordan.
The Cubs are in Atlanta. We mentioned earlier, this is one of the better hitting environments today. It is 80 as far as the temp. Wind blowing out to center field about 5 miles per hour. So I think this is the only game that's showing a positive of weather edge. I'm doing a quick scroll. Everything else looks like either neutral or negative. Yeah, basically. Just not the best hitting weather across the country in general. Jameson Taillon versus Chris Sale. It's hard hitting the ball against Chris Sale. It's going to be a pile of righties and PCA, Pete Armstrong, the lefty in the 9-hole. Mentioned earlier, Taillon has had a homer issue all season long, almost 2 homers per 9, the biggest number on the board. How do you take advantage of it with Atlanta? Well, I guess it's Matt Olson. He probably is the most appealing player on Atlanta. 212 ISO, higher ISO than Matt Olson, Profar. 233, 367 Woba. Acuna, of course, 241. You got to pay for him, but certainly he's in a good spot. And Michael Harris, who's come on of late in the last month or so, after scuffling for the first 3+ months of the season against Tyon, who has a 250 ISO versus righties and a 193 ISO versus lefties, and getting hit harder Woba-wise against righties as well. Atlanta and the Cubs.
I'm going to put the Braves and Saul Goodman.
Okay.
Like you said, attack them with Olsen. Don't mind Acuna. Ozuna, well, he's just down in the 8-hole now. He's been very bad. Profar's up top. I like the Braves. In terms of the Cubs, I do think they have ceiling. And it's a slate that you probably do want some ceiling, but versus Chris Sale, I'm just going to put them as just another team in Tuco. Say is fine. Carson Kelly, there's not much I really love. Did we get it projected for the Cubs? Sorry,
The lineup for Chicago is Horner, Happ, Suzuki, Kelly, Santana, Swanson, Turner, Shaw, PCA. It's not a great lineup.
It's not a great lineup, yeah.
Tucker's out, obviously. I think there's somebody else that's missing. Oh, no, Bush. That kind of makes sense, though, because, Sale is just so dominant versus lefties. He'll probably sneak in at some point in this game, spell Santana or Turner. One of those two guys probably not long for this game, but they have a 3.5 team total. It's hard to get excited by either one. So let's move along. It's the Rays and the White Sox. Griffin Jacks, just an opener here for Tampa. If they announced the long man, I missed it.
Where were the Braves?
Braves were in Saul Goodman.
We got a team in Tier 1, Atlanta in Tier 1. And did you have the Cubs in Tuco, Bobby? Is that right? In the third tier?
Yeah.
All right. Tampa White Sox, Sean Burke versus Griffin Jacks. Again, Jacks just an opener here. 8.5 total. Tampa is the slight favorite here, minus 137. There are some cheap pieces. If you want to spend up, you're going to spend up for, Brandon Lau, Junior Caminero. Montgomery for Chicago has been just, I would say he's been playing over his head. But the results are the results, and the results so far, this season for Montgomery against, a 372 ISO and a 403 WOBA against righties, which is just incredible. I don't know how real it is. He strikes out a lot, but he's walking a little bit more as well. But that's worth noting. And who knows what he's going to get lefty righty after Griffin Jackson. You're going to get a mixed bag with that Tampa pen. Where do you want to put the Rays, the White Sox?
Yeah, so the White Sox are going to go in. We'll say Todd. I have no interest in really playing the White Sox. Tampa, I do think, has some upside. I like Lau. I like Lowe. I like Caminero. I'm going to put Tampa in Gus Fring.
All right, Tampa in Tier 2. The White Sox in the gutter, hanging out with Todd. We have 3 more games to go, about 15, 20 minutes until crunch time jumps in here. It's Dave Potts, Cheeseisgood. We have TastefulTides, Tim, I know he was hanging out in chats earlier, hanging out in the bullpen, warming up, as well as Chief Meteorologist Kevin Roth. Again, mentioned earlier, weather is looking really clean, nothing dicey, nothing to be concerned with. If anything happens to pop up, Roth has you covered. He'll be all over it. It's the Rays and the Padres, Pavetta versus Andrew Abbott. San Diego, the favorite here, minus 144. Tatis, Arise back in the lineup today. Machado, Sheets, Laureano, Jackson Merrill, O'Hearn, Cronenworth, and Diaz doing the catching. Cincinnati, we mentioned earlier. Friedel, Marte, De La Cruz, Hayes, Lux, Stewart, Stevenson, Hayes, and McLean. Reds, Padres. What do you got, Bobby?
San Diego, I'm going to throw in Tuco. In terms of the Reds, like I just can't see myself rostering Reds tonight. So Cincinnati's going to be down in the, what's that, Skylar White category. Marte, I think, is fine. De La Cruz, Austin Hayes, but like I don't want to play them as a stack at all. Padres, Machado, Laureano, Merrill. Those guys are the main guys that stand out for me. Yeah, Tatis, I guess, as well.
San Diego and Tuco. All right. And did you say the Reds? Where are the Reds going?
The Reds are going in Skylar White.
Just no interest at all in Cincinnati?
Not really. Like I said, Hayes, De La Cruz, Marte, but yeah.
No, I'm kind of with you. I'm much more likely to play Pivetta than I am to play the Reds. Just trying to think of a way to attack Pivetta. I mean, you can always play De La Cruz, obviously. He's got some speed. Of course, he has the wheels as well. I do see in chat we are just 3 more likes away from officially spinning the wheel. We'll spin the wheel when we're done with the tiers. And how do you get on the wheel? How do you get your name on the wheel? You jump in the Discord channel, RotoGrinders.com/Discord. The live stream chat channel, producer Steve has a post. It just says Wheel Wednesday. You click that avatar and you get your name on the board. We get to 100 likes and Steve is going to spin the wheel twice. We'll give away 2 individual weeks, and the like count is halted. It's officially counted when we are done with all of the tiers. St. Louis, Seattle, 7.5 total here, Bobby. McGreevy versus Logan Gilbert. Gilbert is a minus 233 favorites. Randy Rosarena, Big Dumper Kyle Rowley, J-Rod, Josh Naylor, who still has a ridiculous amount of stolen bases this season. Jorge Polanco, Suarez, Canzone back in the lineup. Crawford, Cole, Young in the 9-hole. For St. Louis, that's Newt Bar, Herrera, Burleson, Contreras, Gorman, Sagasi, Pajes, Fermin, and Church. A team total less than 3. Less than 3 against Logan Gilbert. Gilbert, one of the most popular pitchers tonight, if not the most popular. Great ballpark to throw baseballs in. On the season, almost a 34% K rate, which is really elite. 36% against righties. There are a pile of lefties here for St. Louis. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Striking them out as well at 32%. And the St. Louis lineup is pretty punchless. 144 collective ISO. Gets really ugly on the back end. St. Louis and the Mariners. What do you got?
Yeah, throw Seattle and Gus Fring. I think that's a little bit high, but I'm high on Cal Raleigh tonight. Rosarena, Naylor, Polanco. I like all these guys. Gino Suarez down there in the 6-hole. Cardinals, no interest at all versus Logan Gilbert. Maybe Contreras, but outside of that, I have pretty much 0 interest. You can throw them in Todd, yeah.
We just got the Rockies lineup just came on through. Let's see if we get the official. Yeah, so as we guessed with Colorado, it is 9 righties against Snell, Freeman, Goodman, Beck, Doyle, Tovar, Karros, Farmer, Fulford, and Arcia against Snell. And we talked about earlier in the show, Snell against righties, not so great. 21.7% K rate versus righties, not putrid, but not great. And the walks are too high also, 11.9%. Now this lineup is not the most patient, 7.2% collectively as far as walking versus lefties this season. Dodgers lineup has not come out just yet, right? That's one of the few I think we do not have. There is some pinch hit alert stuff because Freeland's in there. We're expecting, our expectations are Ohtani, Betts, who's fired up. Betts banged one out last night. He's getting hot. Will Smith, Freddie Freeman, Teoscar. I think Teoscar banged out a couple last night as well. He's heating up. He was certainly slumping there for a bit. Alex Call, one of the pinch hit possibilities. Andy Pajes, Enrique Hernandez, another pinch hit possibility. And then you have Tommy Edman, our presumed, this is our projected lineup, It is not official. Do we have everything else? We have every lineup, right? Yeah, we have every lineup but the Dodgers. Beautiful. I love that. When we get them all early. Yeah, this is the most popular one, though, right? Almost a 6 total for LA against Kyle Freeland and his friends. Well, I assume they're friends. I don't know. Acquaintances, co-workers, if nothing else, in the bullpen. Where do you want to put the Dodgers and the Rockies?
Yeah, Rockies and Tuco, Tovar, Goodman, Beck, Doyle. Those would be the ones I'd have the most interest in, depending on if they make the lineup or not. And the Dodgers, like everyone in chat knows, they're going in Saul Goodman, Shohei. Hopefully Moogie's turning it around. Will Smith, Teoscar, I think are fantastic plays. Tommy Edman, I tagged. Yeah, I love the Dodgers tonight, but everyone else will as well.
Do you know how many laps you're making tonight? Is it one main lineup? You're running
Just
20?
one
What are you
main.
doing?
Just one main. Yeah.
Do you think that you're going to play Dodgers? Have you figured it out? You're still kind of bouncing your ideas back and forth?
I'll probably play a mini stack of the Dodgers. I get 3-man. Try to get different elsewhere, but from a projection standpoint, like they're obviously the best play. So they go in Saul Goodman, Rockies and Tuco again, Steve.
That is our board. I think we're creeping up on 100 likes. We'll see if we can get those in just a second. I know Steve is multitasking. You know, he's working on the board. He's figuring out throwing some names on the wheel. We want to give away some premium. We'll do that in a second. I do want to recap the board if you're joining us late. I did want to shout out. It is Raymond Cruz's birthday. Of course, Raymond Cruz, many people, at least I do. I know him more so as Tuco. Tuco, by the way, 61, turning 61 to him. So shout out to him. 61 today. Tuco Salamanca. He is in the center as far as likability characters. He's not somebody you want to mess with, but he's also fun to watch. Only 4 episodes, by the way. I thought it was more than that. I was looking at his IMDb. I was surprised he was only around for 4 episodes. I think he had a series that he wanted to move on to. He kind of like said, hey, can you get me out of here? He didn't realize the show he was on, it was going to be spectacular. Saul Goodman is a tier 1. 2 teams up there. It's the Dodgers and the Braves. You know, Gustavo is tier 2. That is the Yankees, Houston, Toronto, Tampa, and Seattle, the most popular tier. I'm not making accusations, Bobby, but people in the chat will. They're going to say you're on the fence whenever there's too many teams in the 3-hole, right? That's the fence riding spot. This is what people say.
I just really don't consider most of those teams in the 3-hole playable.
Yeah.
Like it's really the guys up top. If you were to go to if you wanted to play, I guess, the Rockies, if you wanted to play the Cubs, I think that's fine. But it's more like just playing Atlanta, LA, the Yankees, Houston, Toronto, Tampa Bay, and Seattle for me. Those are the teams I would.
The teams in the tier 3 hanging out with Tuco. It's Pittsburgh, Washington. And again, if you're joining us late, we know some of these games are not on DK, but FanDuel is including the 4 games that start between 6:30 and 6:40. You know, distinctly different as far as the slates. Not a lot of offense, but a couple of pitchers at least. Skeens of nothing else. 11 games on FanDuel, 7 on DK. Pittsburgh is hanging out with Tuco, as well as Washington, Kansas City, Philadelphia, Detroit, the Cubs, San Diego, and the Rockies. Skylar White. A lot of people didn't like Skylar. A lot of people like her. The Marlins, the Mets, and Cincinnati. And tier 5 is Todd. Todd's got tier 5. That is Baltimore, the Cubs, and St. Louis. Did we hit 100 likes? I don't know. I don't know if we had 100 likes. But yeah, their producer Steve is not a fan of Skylar.
I think we're at 99, so we basically got it.
Are we rounding up here? Is that we're going to grade on a curve, or we're going to sit around and wait for another like, or how strict are we going to be?
Nope, we got it.
There
My screen is showing 100.
Steve, feel free to fire up the wheel and give it a whirl, give it a spin.
All right. The glorious Lies.
And you'll be sliding in there on the
Yep, Discord.
Discord. Why couldn't I think of the word Discord there for some reason? Yeah. So yeah, be on alert if your name is called.
Mega Agam. Mega
Mega Gem?
spelled backwards.
What is it spelled backwards?
The same thing spelled forwards and backwards.
Oh, okay.
Look at that.
What did they
All
call
right,
that?
I'll tag those 2 winners in Discord. Congratulations.
All right. Shout out to the winners. Maybe we'll play it again next Wednesday. We'll see. Producer Steve surprises me every once in a while, but we used to do this every single week, but not enough people were hitting the old the like button. But there you go. 2 individual weeks of RG Premium. Have at it. Steve will be sliding in just a second. Bobby, we have crunch time coming in about 5 minutes or so. You got to tell me some Bobby bombs. Who's going deep? Who's going yard? You got to be as ambitious as you want to be. Feel free. If you want to pick Dodgers, you can do that. Whatever you want to do. But tell me where the taters coming from. Well, I shouldn't say tater because that's Tim's turf. Tim's coming on in a second. We got the old copyright infringement. But who's going yak tonight?
I'm going to go Cal Raleigh on the high side.
Okay.
In the middle, I'll go Junior Caminero. That's not really the middle, but him or Brandon Lau, I think, is fine from the Tampa Bay Rays. And I like Hunter Goodman. Nade's called out Hunter Goodman in chat. Let's go with Hunter Goodman on the Rockies. So.
I don't mind a little Colorado mini. I'm not going to go full of Colorado, I don't think. But a little Colorado mini against Snell, I don't know. Maybe just like not playing him was enough. I'm just kind of speaking it out loud, but yeah, Goodman, Beck, Doyle, a lot of power there. Farmer's shown some power as well against lefties this season. Of course, they're out of course, and the power is somewhat subdued, but Goodman's power is legit. 269 ISO on the season. And we talked about Snell, just not striking guys out, walking too many. Not that you're necessarily, I guess when you go full stack, you want some walks, sure, and then somebody to make him pay. But he has not yielded a bunch of homers this season. Just want to confirm that as his homers per 9. Yeah, 0.64, which is the tricky thing. Now 10% homer to fly ball. It's a ton of ground balls this year. His fly ball's been down pretty significantly. So even though he hasn't been great, he has not been giving up a ton of homers. All right. Player, Bobby, is there a player or is there a team, a pitcher, however you want to answer it, that you're most afraid of just not having in your lineup? If you're making one lineup, you can't play everybody, obviously. What are you most afraid of not getting to? Beating you. What's going to beat you if you don't have it?
The Braves, I think, would be the team that probably be the Dodgers. I think the Braves full stacks probably the pivot from the Dodgers that are going to be chalk, and everyone's going to play the Dodgers. So let's say the Dodgers.
Chat's telling me if we're to trust Eric in chats, he's telling me it's Ohtani's bobblehead night. Didn't you already have one of those? Did he give more than one bobblehead? Probably. Does that change the projections for you, assuming that's true?
Ohtani's projected high anyways. So
yeah. It's just I'm asking you a silly question, basically.
I know.
But I did want to see if it's actually happening. Ice Cube's got a bobblehead, June 21st. Okay. That's already happened. Dave Roberts, of course, he's got to get some. Tommy Edman is worthy of a bobblehead. Did you know that? I didn't know he was. June 2nd.
I have him tagged, so I like Edman tonight.
I think our guy Eric made this up, unless I'm not seeing something correctly. I do not think tonight is Ohtani's bobblehead night. It was on May 15th. That's what I'm seeing. So Blake Snell had his on July 16th. So, all right. Oh, BVP play of the day. Is there? I know that's Chop Spit.
Tommy
Wait, do you have
Edman.
one?
Tommy Edman.
You have the BVP. Do you have access to Chop's model? He doesn't show it to me. He won't let me.
I just like Tommy Edman, but someone said it in chat earlier, so I guess it would be Tommy Edman.
Let's see. Okay, now I have to pull it up. 12 at bats, 5 hits, a single, couple doubles, couple homers. Is that enough to get the algorithm excited?
Yeah, that works.
Let's see. Ohtani does have 2 homers, by the way, left on left against Freeland at 8 at bats. So not that you're afraid of Ohtani left on left versus anybody, but apparently I've been told the algorithm has spit out Tommy Edmond. So there you go. Again, crunch time coming on in just a few minutes here. It's Tasteful Tides, Tim Buell. You got Chief Mineralogist Kevin Roth. You got Dave Potts taking you guys all up the lock. Probably not going to have a big crossover conversation just because I want the people to, they have to knock out FanDuel. FanDuel was 640 starts. So not that you're probably not rostering a bunch of offenses on FanDuel, but it is a different slate. There's 4 more games being added. So, if you haven't, 635, actually. 635 is first pitch. Paul Skeens against Tyler Wells. Let's go ahead and seamlessly segue. Oh, wait a second. It is, let's see, Gilbert Funko Pop Night and Otani Bobblehead Night. Okay, so I gave it a Google, and Google lied to me, apparently. Or maybe I just did not read that correctly, but apparently I guess there is something bobblehead-wise going down tonight in LA. Let's do it. Let's bring in crunch time. It's Tim. It's Roth. It's Dave Potts. It's crunch time right now. We were saying before, Roth, you've had it easy, man. You've had an easy week. And as far as I can tell, you're on easy street once again, precipitation-wise.
Yeah, I might have to add like a little bit of color to Baltimore, but it's just like a drizzle, and it's fine either way. You
were bored and just like, let me just tell you about weather in California, and this has nothing to do with. I was reading your article. This has nothing to do with today's baseball, but here's just a lesson as far as when it rains in California and when it doesn't. You haven't written a lot in a while.
Was it interesting though? Were you like, oh, I'm glad Roth took the time to explain that to me?
I was enlightened though. I didn't know. I feel like I learned something. So what I'm saying is that I appreciate it. I appreciate the little life lesson. Bobby was saying he likes when you have the pressure on. He likes when you have to make a call. It's always kind of fun watching you a little bit frazzled.
No,
and you're
I
clutch,
disagree.
So
yeah, I strongly disagree. I like when the days are just like this.
All right, we probably shouldn't yammer on too long because, again, there is a FanDuel slate that starts in 20 minutes or so. You got time for it, obviously, but the people that are playing FanDuel certainly want to know about it, and Tim's thoughts and Dave's as well. But Bobby, anything else for the people before we step aside and get out of here? I'll be on later, 8 o'clock with the Pick Six show. Myself, Daigle, Rebar, TJ. Join us then for a first look football show. But Bobby, unless you got anything else, let's step aside and get out of here and make way for crunch time.
No, have a good day, you guys.
Likewise, Bobby. Roth, it's all yours.
Good stuff. As always, welcome to it, ladies and gents. It's crunch time. Two of the sharpest minds in the industry. Dave Potts, Cheeseisgood in the house. What up, Cheese?
Nothing. Happy day to you. Weird little slate with the 4 extra early FanDuel games. It's strange to have that big of a difference in a slate that only starts like 30 minutes apart. But we'll get to that real quick, and then we'll do the usual.
Okay, so I was curious what you think the move is. Do we just start on FanDuel? Or we just talk pitchers and then maybe stacks on FanDuel, and then we just go around the horn?
Yeah, I don't think we should. I don't think we can really go position by position FanDuel, but I think let's just talk how FanDuel slate is different for a little bit first.
Yeah. Okay, that sounds good. Tasteful Ties in the house as well. Beard looking majestic as always. What's up, man? How are you?
I got a big sunburn today too. Like I'm so red. I was outside for way too long today.
What were you doing outside? Were you sampling?
I was doing a lot of
hiking.
No, I was just doing a lot of like yard stuff, and it's getting like really cold, so we have to like get our wood together, and it was just very. I hate going outside, Kevin. I really do.
That was a weird sentence all around.
Outside is awful.
I didn't expect that. Like,
you don't stack wood down in Alabama, Dave? No.
I mean, I have some. Like in February, we make a few fires inside, not because it's too cold to go outside, but just because it's fun.
It's fun, yeah. It's it was pretty chilly here. It was 68 degrees this morning, and the whole city of Houston was celebrating. It's the coldest it's been in like 4 or 5 months. So I feel you. Winter is here, no doubt. I think start stacking the wood.
I think it was 35 degrees this morning when I woke up.
Yeah, that's legit. I'm a little jealous, but I'm not jealous for what is coming your way. I'm just jealous for today's weather, to be clear. Tides, we got a kind of a double slate here. How you feeling?
Feeling good. Are we gonna just break down FanDuel really quick? Is that what you want to do?
I think so. Let's dive right into it. We'll talk pitchers on FanDuel. I will officially note there's probably going to be some light rain in Baltimore, and they're just going to play through it because it's drizzle, and that's
okay.
it. But
Because that is the most important game for pitching. So would you say that they are fine for pitching, or somewhat?
I wouldn't.
Okay.
I do think it'll rain some, but it's just not going to be heavy enough for them to not play it. So they're just going to play it.
All right. So Paul Skeens on FanDuel, 10-8. He would definitely be my cash game guy. And I think he's somebody that you can comfortably and possibly should be overweight in GPPs, despite the fact that we have really, really strong pitching today. But Paul Skeens is my number one on FanDuel. So I think that he's the clear number one play. Chris Sale at 10-7. He has looked really good since coming back from the IL. So he'd be my number two. Nick Pivetta at 10K. Logan Gilbert. And then I'm going to be really interested to hear what Cheese has to say about Blake Snell. But, I mean, he's against the Rockies, and the Rockies are really, really terrible. I think that Blake Snell is going to be somewhat popular as well. But I just like the guys that are more expensive better. I don't see why we necessarily have to save the Blake Snell. Like, I know the matchup is amazing, but I just think the talent-wise, the guys above him are just better. So, I get it if you disagree. I get it if you want to, get the discounted price. But for me, it's really going to be Paul Skeens or Chris Sale.
Okay. Geez, seems like we've got at least plenty of options to consider over on FanDuel. It seems like a lot of higher end options as well. What are you looking at?
Yeah, I mean, almost too many options. Like it's fantastically glorious, really. So yeah, I think the big decision is Blake Snell. It kind of jumps out seeing him at 9,100 when all these other guys are 10 to 11K. But I'm kind of with what Tim was saying. Like, he is a far worse pitcher than Skeens, Gilbert, or Sale, or Pivetta even. Now, far worse also doesn't take away his upside. Like, a best case scenario upside for him is as good as those other guys. So that's the reason the price sticks out. But even against the Rockies, like, his realistic floor is still nothing. Just any team that's a whole bunch of righties, like, some days he just can't throw a single strike to any right-handed batter. It doesn't matter if it's Orlando or Cio or Braxton Fulford. If they're standing over there, he can't throw it. So I'm not playing him, period. I fully get it if you want to, and he does have the ceiling. Like, I will not be stunned if he outscores Skeens and Gilbert. Like, he has the ceiling. But to me, those other guys, really the four, I'm calling it a top four: Skeens, Gilbert, Sale, Pivetta. They're just better than him, and you don't really need the salary. So I'm playing the better pitchers. I have a little more Gilbert than Skeens because I think they're pretty close, and that $600 is relevant. But like in cash, Skeens or Gilbert would be the only ones I would consider. And I think Sale and Pivetta are excellent spend up to be a little different. And then where I do need to save salary, I made a few lineups with some big bats. Instead of playing semi-chalky Blake Snell, I would rather just save a lot and play Yuri Perez and then get all the bats. He had a couple just awful starts after he'd been real consistent. And then the last couple starts have been like scary bad. I don't think there's anything to it other than just random baseball nonsense. I think he's underpriced. So if you look at the game log, you would be out. But I mean, it's 2 bad starts after, 14 good starts. So I'm still in on him at this salary. But essentially, Gilbert, Skeens, Sale, Pivetta.
Okay. Well, let's talk about the stacks on FanDuel, or just maybe the bats in general, stacks, and if there's anything individually you feel you need to kind of point out. Cheese, what do you got?
Yeah, I actually really like the bats on the FanDuel slate. As a full stack, the Marlins are one of my favorite teams on the board. I don't like – it's a weird lineup. It doesn't look – like there's not a single player that you go, oh, I really want to play that guy. But all of them cobbled together. and they're mostly cheap. I like it as a full stack. As far as individual bats, I love Bobby Witt, Sal Perez, Michael Garcia. I like Jose Ramirez. I love Schwarber and Harper. Those are spend up bats, but I really like all of them. And then I also like the cheaper Phillies. And really those teams, Marlins, Phillies, Royals, and maybe a Jose Ramirez are, to me, as good as anything later in the night. So I'm a little overweight the 4 early games in my FanDuel lineups.
Yeah. Okay.
Are you getting to any Jack Flaherty on FanDuel, Dave?
I sure didn't. I feel similar to him how I feel about Snell. Like he's not as bad as Snell, but when you add in the matchup, it's like, man, I like the salary, but once I get down there and then just go back and look at the Yankees again, I'm like, yeah, just give me Yuri Perez and go up to Schwarber or something.
Yeah. Tim, I want your thoughts on stacks. And also, when you said you were stacking wood, did this also involve chopping wood? Did you have an axe at some point today, and were you swinging it at wood?
I get the wood delivered.
Okay.
So yeah,
that is disappointing.
I could chop wood if you really wanted me to. I've done it plenty of times.
We do really want you to.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Preferably in a flannel, just to get the whole effect.
All right.
All right. Next time. Anyways, your favorite stacks on FanDuel. That was very disappointing.
I know. I should have just lied. Really. I don't know why I told the truth.
Yeah. We would
I was chopping it shirtless.
Out on it.
Yeah.
Oh, let's see the picture.
Yeah.
So I think the biggest difference just between FanDuel and DraftKings tonight is really just pitching. Like, I'm completely fine if you want to play Miami, but there's really none of these 640 games, 635 games in terms of hitters that I think are really fantastic. So it's kind of the same between the sites, Kevin. It's not anything that drastically changed the slate. Like, I'm very, very high on the Dodgers. I really like Atlanta. I think those are both fantastic. There are pieces of Toronto that I think are quite strong. But again, those are like 705 and are available on both sites.
Yeah. Okay. I suppose, Cheese, now is the time to flip it and talk DK, and we'll open, or I guess kind of close down the pitcher pool, but now we need 2. Is that where we're at?
Yeah. So first of all, sort of big picture on DraftKings, I found it really hard to build any lineups today. Like the pricing has kind of gotten tighter over the last week. And that's going to lead to a little more chalk. Like, I think in particular, the Braves and the Astros are a lot easier to fit. Like, it's really hard to fit the Yankees, or even kind of the Rays, and certainly the Dodgers with the high-end guys, assuming that you're trying to get 2 good pitchers. And that's kind of the trick on the DraftKings side is we don't have Skeens, but all these other guys are over 9K. I don't have any Carlos Rodon. I think it's fine if you just want to play a bunch of these guys. He's good too, but I'm not going to try to play all these guys. So I mostly have Gilbert, Sale, Pivetta on DraftKings. Again, I'm not playing Blake Snell there either. Same thing as on FanDuel. He doesn't have the discount, but sure, he has the ceiling. I would just rather play better pitchers, especially when they're essentially the same salary. Gilbert's my one. If I have the salary, it would be Sale 2 and Pivetta 3, but I have more Pivetta in my lineups because of the salary, with Gilbert, Pivetta being my highest owned combo. Now, the Jack Flaherty thing is way more interesting and difficult on DraftKings, where he's 7,500 versus all these aces over 9K. Flaherty has also been kind of wonky recently, and I think he's fine too. But even Jack Flaherty being fine doesn't make me love him against the Yankees. Like, this is just like kind of a worst case scenario matchup for him. But I also feel like he should probably always be at least 8,000. I mean, he's good. I ended up with way less of him than I first thought I would when I looked at the slate and saw the salary. Because even getting to him at SP2, I can't really play the bats I want. So like I feel like I'm playing a couple of hitters that I don't want to play for salary, even if I just go Gilbert Pivetta. But still, if I go Pivetta Flaherty, so I'd rather just spend up and not like my hitting lineup anyway, since I don't like it either way. I think Andrew Abbott is also right in that Flaherty discussion of he's fine. I think he's a little more on the he'll probably be fine side than like Flaherty theoretically has ceiling. Abbott probably doesn't have much realistic ceiling, but you'd be more surprised if he got shelled. But it's the same thing. Unless you're going down below 6K, which we'll talk about, like I'm not getting any lineup I like anyway. So just give me the pitcher. So at least I know I'm getting something.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm playing mostly 2 aces. Now, where I need all the bats, we've got some nonsense. We got Sean Burke. We got Michael McGreevy. I mean, we even have Kyle Freeland. We've got a couple guys throwing 2 innings for Tampa. Keep in mind, they're all throwing 2 innings, so probably don't do that. And since we already see the question, can we rock?
Paper, scissors.
The person who is probably pitching for Tampa after Griffin Jacks, talk about great names. His name is Joe Rock.
That's it? Just Joe Rock?
That's it. That's the name.
That's good.
Joe Rock.
Yeah.
But he's a 2-inning guy. Like Griffin Jacks maybe throws 2 innings. Joe Rock, greatest name ever, maybe throws 2 innings. So I don't think he can play them. Personally, I ended up playing Sean Burke where I have to go cheap because he's at least something like an average strikeout pitcher. Both McGreevy and Freeland just simply have to get lucky. And they can, and neither of them walk anybody. So it's fine. But give me the guy who has at least theoretical close to average strikeout ability. And that's just what I'm doing. And that's the end of my pool.
Yeah. Okay. Tim, I want to bring you in to talk pitchers on DK, but there are so many questions about your personal life that I just can't help but dig into. The chat.
Yeah, let's just do this. I think we can skip the slate. It's pretty hard anyway.
It's way more fun. Does Tim own a log splitter? Yes or no?
I do. Yes.
Does Tim own an axe?
Several. Over
What is a log splitter? That's a personal question. I have no idea what that is.
It's how you split logs.
Okay, I thought you did that with an axe. Do you have a fireplace?
Yes, several.
Yeah, that checks out. Do you like and or make moonshine?
I've had it. I don't make it.
Do you like and or make like maple syrup that you gathered?
No, but I have done that many years ago.
Okay,
and I do love maple syrup.
Okay, I think that counts.
Have you ever had moonshine, Kevin?
I don't think so. Someone's like, "Oh, this is moonshine."
If you ever come and visit, I'll get you some.
Get moonshine, fireplace. Yeah. This is getting weirdly romantic, but these are all enjoyable.
Whoa!
I don't know. Just, anyways, noodling, splitting logs.
That was the question that I saw. I don't know what noodling a catfish means. Is that your world?
That's a southern thing. That's something they're not going to do up there.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is catching a catfish by sticking your fist in a hole, and the catfish bites it because it thinks that it's bait, and you pull the catfish out with your bare hand. It is the most awesome thing you can do.
You've done this?
No, I really want to. Like, I really want to. But no one will go with me because I'm the only one dumb enough to want to do this.
I mean, I'll
go with you and watch you. Yeah, if you just lack someone coming to watch you do it, I think you can find someone.
Nope, it's got to be participating group action. Okay, hey, we are coming up on lock. We got to do things. DK pitchers, Tim.
Yeah, so we lose Paul Skeens on DK, but it's still a fantastic pitching slate. I think it's Logan Gilbert in cash games. Then SP2 is like pretty tough. Like it's really anyone of like Chris Sale, Nick Pivetta, and I suppose even Blake Snell, just because the matchup is so good. But I'm personally going Gilbert and Sale. It is pretty tough to make a lineup tonight. In fact, I kept landing on Jack Flaherty as my SP2, and I was like, I just can't do that. I just can't. It's just so hard. Like, there's so much opportunity cost at the top here in pitching. I just don't want to lose that many raw points in projection. So I'm just staying kind of like with that Gilbert Pivetta sale. We've got a couple questions about Rodon in chat. I mean, he's 9,200. I mean, he just falls so far below, I think, these like Sale, Gilbert, and Pivetta. So I don't really like him that much. I think if you want to save at SP2, which I'm not saying is a good idea, I don't really like that tonight. But you go Michael McGreevy or you go Sean Burke. I guess. But like these mid-range 7K guys like Flaherty, Barrios, Abbott, Tyon, like I really have like next to no interest in them. So I think it's you either double spend up in that 10K range, the 9K and above range, and then if you really, really want to, you go that 5K range with McGreevy, Burke.
Yeah. 1 and 1, maybe 1 spend up, 1 cheapie. Is that
not in cash games? That's okay if you want to go 1 expensive, 1 cheap, and GBP single entry stuff. But cash games, you're double spending up.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. Let's talk about the stacks on DK now, which is maybe a slightly different conversation for Cheese. But Tim, you said kind of the same for you.
Yeah, I mean it's going to be kind of boring listening to me about stacks on DK. It's on FanDuel DK. It's still kind of just that whole Dodger situation. They're going to be very, very highly owned. Some of those cheap righties do have pitch hit risk, like Cheese mentioned in his article. So just be aware of that. But I still really like them tonight. I really like Atlanta, Toronto. And I was getting to a lot of Colorado in Sims. So I think Colorado in, large field GPP, like I know they're terrible, but I don't think they're going to be popular. And I think Snell is going to be popular. So you get into some cheap Rockies. I think it's okay in large field stuff.
Yeah. Cheese, your favorite stacks over on DK, you're losing some of those ones that you liked on FanDuel.
Yeah, I'm way, way, way under on the Dodgers.
Why?
I think I have 0 full stacks. So like I said at the beginning, you don't have the salary unless you play the bottom of the order guys that are going to get pinch hit for.
Yeah.
Like you cannot play 2 good pitchers with Ohtani, Smith, Freeman, Teoscar. That's just not what you can do. And Kyle Freeland is not bad. Like he's bad in any one individual at bat. Like Kyle Freeland versus any one of these guys is a good matchup for the Dodgers bat. But he's not a stack against guy really on the road because he never walks anybody. And again, the pinch hit risk, like the cheap guys, they have to do something in their first 2 at bats. So yeah, I don't think this is the night to play chalk Dodgers personally.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So what do you like?
Nothing. That's the problem. What is why I said it's really hard to build lineups. I don't like a single one of my lineups. The only lineups of mine I kind of like are the Rocky stacks. I will say I do like Toronto a pretty good bit. I love the Yankees, but that's the same thing as the Dodgers. I can't really get to them. I mean, you can do Wells, Caballero, McMahon, but that's not what I want. You can't do 2 good pitchers with Judge, Bellinger, Rice, and Stanton. So I don't have a lot of those stacks either, even though I like that's my favorite team. Just who's going to score the most DFS points? I think it's the Yankees. But for the salary, I think the Braves are going to be the chalky-ish cheap team. Those top 3 bats are expensive, but everything else is cheap. And I think they're fine. But I don't honestly love them either. So Toronto, Tampa, White Sox, and Colorado are the teams I have the most of.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go around the horn, talk position by position. Boofy says, is Joe Rock chalk?
No,
not at all, right?
No.
Not at all.
It's 1% owned.
Yeah. No.
And we're not even like 100% that he even pitches, right, Dave?
No. Yeah, no.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
And if he does, it's 2 innings. I don't think anyone's actually talking about playing him. It's just
he's definitely not chalk.
Right. Outside of the awesome name, there's not a whole lot of interest there. Let's go around the horn, position by position. Cheese, talk to me about the catcher spot.
Okay, so same as everything. I don't really have salary. I love Cal Raleigh and I love Will Smith. These are fantastic plays. I do actually like them more than spend ups at most other positions. So I do have a fair amount of those two guys. And I also like Ben Rice. Where I don't have salary, the cheap stuff is just punting for the sake of punting. I think Victor Caratini is okay. He's probably the one I have the most of. Edgar Quiro is okay. Yainer Diaz is okay, although I would play Caratini over Diaz. And then I've also got a little Hunter Goodman.
Okay. Tim?
Yeah, Will Smith and Cal Raleigh are definitely your top raw point plays. Hunter Goodman at 4,500 against Snell. We currently have Hunter Goodman at 2%. I really, really like that in GPPs. So Dave and I have both talked about Colorado tonight.
It's got to be over 2% just because of mine and Eric's lineups. That'll get him over 2%.
That's true. Good point. Yeah, Alejandro Kirk at 3,600. I think he's a really solid mid-range play. Braxton Fulford, he is a really, really cheap Colorado player, batting 6th, I believe. So I think he's a pretty decent salary saving option. I think that would be it for me at catcher. Oh, and Drake Baldwin batting cleanup at 4K. I like a ton.
Okay, let's go to first, Tim.
Yeah, Shohei Ohtani. I mean, he's clearly the number one raw point play on the slate. He pretty much always is. Tonight is no different. I don't think he's any kind of like must have play because we have such expensive pitching tonight. But he's fantastic. Vlad Guerrero at 51, Freddie Freeman at 5K. Those are your other big spend ups. Christian Walker at 3,600, I think is really solid. I don't mind getting to maybe a Ryan O'Hearn in GPPs. Yandy Diaz, I think, is pretty solid as well. But I think in cash games, you're kind of leaning on this Freddie Freeman, Vlad, Shohei Ohtani tier.
Yeah. Cheese, first base.
I don't like this at all. I've never been less excited about a slate. I have 0 Ohtani. I feel pretty great about that, I'll tell you. He's $6,500, and I don't have it. That's just what it comes down to. I just don't. I emailed asking for more salary again and again. They said no.
You think they can make an exception for like a legacy player as yourself? But
yeah, I don't ask every day. I mean, it's pretty rare. Once a month or so. Yeah. So I do think Christian Walker at 3,600 is maybe even my favorite play, just because I don't have salary and he's fine, and I don't think Jose Barrios is very good. I also have a little Spencer Torkelson and Josh Naylor and Yandy Diaz and Matt Olson. Those are all like mid-tier-ish, under 5K that I can play on their own. I kind of prefer Olson outside of Atlanta stacks because I think he's going to be in every Atlanta stack. And you're more playing him just to hit a home run, and the team doesn't need to go off. So, yeah.
I did forget to mention Matt Olson myself. I really do like Matt Olson. I love the Atlanta team tonight for sure.
Yeah, you could play Olson in cash for sure.
Yeah, you can. You really can. So it's one of probably Vlad, Freddie, or Olson for me in cash games, unless you have the money for Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah, which you don't, generally speaking.
It's pretty tough. I mean, it's tough to play the guys you want tonight.
Yeah. Cheese, let's go to second base. Yesterday, it was good. It was actually good.
That was the one timer. It was kind of Kyle Freeland last week. One thing, something is good once a year every time. Yeah. So and second base yesterday was it.
Bummer. It was the one day. All right.
Yeah. So I mean, I love Brandon Lau, but 5,100 is a lot. He's that's I prefer him on FanDuel where he's cheap. So the Tommy Edman thing is interesting. In theory, he shouldn't, if he's even in the lineup, he shouldn't get pinch hit for because he's a switch hitter. I guess I would say he's my favorite kind of random cheap Dodgers guy just because it's second base and he's cheap and he's a switch hitter. If he's even in the lineup. I mean, I assume he is if because they pulled him off the IL. But also this guy hasn't played a game since beginning of August. So I don't know. He's fine because he's 3,200. Ozzy Albies, I think, is probably kind of chalky, which is fine, I guess. I like him some, but I don't love chalky Ozzy Albies. Like I would much rather get up to Brandon Lau if I can. I kind of like Jorge Polanco about as much and Lennon Sosa about as much. So I think I have more Sosa than Albies. And then again, the salary I don't have, I would love to spend on Jazz Chisholm, but I have very little Jazz.
Yeah. And Sosa is available at first as well, but second is worse. So you're playing him there, Cheese?
Yeah. You could play him at first. I might have him at first in a lineup. But as bad as first is, second is worse.
Second is the worst. Yeah. First is the, yeah. Anywho, if that doesn't nursery rhyme. Tim, your thoughts there at second base?
Yeah, so we did just get that Dodgers lineup, and Tommy Edman is batting sixth. So he's definitely the cash game guy tonight at 3,200. You can definitely play Ozzy Albies. You can obviously play Brandon Lau. But I think Edman is the cash game guy. I don't mind Tyler Freeman in GPPs. I don't mind even some Jorge Polanco. Yeah, second base is pretty bad, but it's not as bad as it has been all year. There are some cheap options as well, like Kyle Farmer, I think is okay. Andre Jimenez, I think is all right as well in Toronto stacks. But I think it's Edman, and if you don't want to play Edman, it's Albies in cash games.
Okay, take me to third base, Tim.
Yeah, so Tommy Edman is also eligible at third. I think there's more opportunity cost at third, so you should probably be playing Edman at second, but he's at least there if you need him. Miguel Vargas at 3,600, I think is decent as well. If you have the money, Junior Caminero batting fourth against Burke. He's probably your standout, like raw point third baseman, but I don't think he's a priority at all. And I don't think he's a cash game play either. Same kind of goes for Manny Machado, high end strong play, but not a cash game play. Fine in San Diego stacks or part of like a one off. Addison Barger at 41. He's cash game eligible, I think, and so is Carlos Correa. So Barger or Correa, I think for me in cash, unless you're not playing Tommy Edman at second.
Cheese, you got to spend up somewhere, right? Can you get Caminero? Is this your spend up?
I can get a little bit. Yeah, I do. He is one of my spend ups.
Yeah.
Yes. Because I think he's just clearly ahead of the field here. I like the matchup. And I don't think he'll be popular. So yes, I like Caminero. Barger, I have a good bit of. I wanted to play more Machado, but I don't have that much. The cheap stuff, it's pretty hard to justify playing someone cheap who's not Tommy Edman. I mean, I think you can do a little Ryan McMahon in larger field stuff, but like essentially, I think you want to spend up to Barger. Correa is okay as well, 37. But if you're not getting up at least there, I think you're just playing Edman.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go to short.
Short is really not it tonight either. Mookie Betts, sure. He is playing better. He's coming back to life a little bit, so he's fine, but he's not cheap anymore either. And then Ellie against Pivetta, yeah. So I'm playing Colson Montgomery, and I'm playing Ezekiel Tovar, and I'm even playing a little bit of Carson Williams And that's just what I'm doing.
Yeah. Okay. Tim, shortstop.
Yeah, Ezekiel Tovar at 3,400. I really like him for cash games. He's actually a pretty strong hitter. It allows you to double pay off pitching. He's cheap. Mookie's obviously fine. Not a priority though, I don't think. I don't mind Hyesung Kim at 3,200, batting 5th for Atlanta. I think he's a pretty good play. Short, it really is not it tonight. Ellie De Cruz is always okay in GPPs, but I think it's really Tovar in cash. I guess Mookie is okay in cash as well, but I prefer Tovar, to be honest.
Yeah. All right. Cheese, your thoughts are short.
No, I'm going to take it to the outfield, I think.
My bad. I'm sorry.
Let's do that.
So,
all right. Let's do it that way. That sounds better.
All right. Yordan Alvarez at 4,300. He is way too cheap. I don't know what's going on with his price, but he is very, very inexpensive. He's definitely a strong play in any format tonight. Dalton Varsho at 4,600. I like a ton as well. I don't think Aaron Judge or Ronald Acuna or even Shohei Ohtani are like must plays in cash games. Like, obviously you can play them. They're great. But I prefer going a little bit lower to that Varsho Alvarez tier. Josh Lowe batting 5th for Tampa Bay, again in that 4K range. I really love. Michael Harris at 3,500, I think is a really strong play. Andy Pages and Teoscar Hernandez, those two really don't have pinch hit risk, so I think they're also really fantastic plays in cash or GPPs. If you're looking for somebody like in the low 3s, Brenton Doyle for Colorado, I really like tonight as well. I'm trying to see if there's anybody like under 3K. Probably not in cash. Like Kiki's fine, but he's got really high pinch hit risk. Batting 9th tonight, he's not a cash game play. I don't really think anyone under 3K is that strong for cash. I would just live in this like 3 to 4K range.
Yeah. Cheese, you're on Yordan. You got to be 4.3.
Yeah, I mean he should be 6K. It's silly. Sometimes
I was gonna say like
buttons.
56.
Yeah.
You should be like 56 at least.
Yeah, it's simply a mistake. Like, let's not pretend like it's okay.
Yeah,
It's weird. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't understand it at all.
So where I'm at in the outfield, kind of what Tim was saying, the high end is really hard to get to because there's really not much in the cheap end. It's not even that there's not much to like. There's not much that exists. There's only 4 hitters on the entire slate under 3K. I mean, if you want to play a Joey Loperfido here or there just to get stuff, that's fine. But there nobody exists. You don't even have the option if you want to. Other cheap stuff like Dominic Canzone, Brenton Doyle, and then like Nathan Lukes and Michael Harris and Jordan Beck. It's fine. But my preference is to try to get 3 of the guys in the mid-4 range, which then means I'm not playing Ohtani, Judge, Cunha, Springer, Tatis. So that group for me is certainly Alvarez, Teoscar, Addison Barger, Dalton Varsho, Josh Lowe, Trent Grisham. I think that's the main group. Like, I'd rather get 3 of those guys than get like an Ohtani and Joey Loperfido.
Yeah. Okay. Let's do some home run calls. We have 14 minutes until lock. I do believe that is oodles and oodles of time. I don't even know if we're going to make it to lock, but we shall try. Let's give the people some bomb calls. That always helps them out. Cheese, why don't you lead us off?
What if there are no home runs hit tonight?
Yeah.
Junior Caminero.
Yeah.
Mid-tier, let's do Brenton Doyle. And cheap little Victor Caratini.
Okay. Tim, a few names for me.
Matt Olson. I was also going to say Brenton Doyle. So I'm on him for sure. Yeah, Matt Olson. Trying to find Will Smith's odds. Yeah, Will Smith. I like Will Smith tonight.
Okay. I want to make sure that people get what they're looking for because they may be looking for NFL DFS access, some of the best projection stats team in the biz right here at RotoGrinders. And you get more bang for your buck right now. Combo Pro for limited time. Get your first month of Combo Pro for $79.99. That's only $5 more than an NFL DFS monthly subscription. So you get all the sports for $5 more. You get like 7 more sports for $5. So obviously you should do that. Yeah, what do you got? NFL, MLB, NBA, PGA, MMA, CFB. I think there's video game ones. I don't know. Call of Duty. What are the video game ones? Cheese, you still grinding those streets?
Mostly League of Legends is the main one, and there's it used to be called CS:GO. Now it's called CS2. They
Counter-Strike?
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Counter-Strike.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Sometimes Call of Duty still shows up sometimes on the weekends.
All right. Anyways, we've got content for that too. I don't know how or why. I don't know who of us is tracking who's the best.
I do the projections for Call Strike.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Well, that's amazing. Okay, well, you just answered my question by telling me that you're the one who does it. Do you watch people
every day?
Man.
Sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes I do. Yeah.
Okay, I've been watching people play. You know the game StarCraft, Tim?
I do. I know what it is. Yeah.
I've been watching people play like StarCraft, not even the new one, the old one on YouTube every day. I watch people play this game that I played 30 years ago. I don't know why. There's something wrong with me, clearly.
I watch people play Counter-Strike a lot of times in the winter because it's so cold here. And we just have nothing to do. So
what am I going to do? I just watch people play games. Yeah. Anyways, it's time. Look at that. We got a new graphic. I don't know if I'm pointing the right way on your screen, but I am on mine. It's Q&A.
No. You're pointing at the other side of.
Doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense that I'm pointing the wrong way because that's what I'm pointing at. Little Q&A icon. Love that. That means it's time to get in your questions. So let's make sure you're doing that. Do you play Counter-Strike is the first question. Tim, do you play Counter-Strike?
See, I have, but I don't really love it as a game to play. I have played it though.
Okay.
See,
Devin,
let me comment to Devin. I'm not hating on CS. I play DFS of that probably more than anybody. And I just think they could have come up with a more creative name. I understand why it's called that, but let's not pretend like that's some great name. CS2, ooh, that's a great name.
No,
I'm not hating on it. I play that all the time. Not the actual game. I play DFS of it. I wouldn't know how to play it.
Yeah. If it said Strike, you'd be like, oh,
yeah.
It's
how about
intense.
Strike V2? Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah. Okay.
Not anything. Yeah.
7,000 hours is impressive, by the way, Devin. As a MMORPG gamer, I have put in some hours into some games, but I'm not sure I've gotten quite that high. Hey, we got 3 DK Cash bats, Tim. I'm letting you handle that. 3 bats, DK Cash, you got to have. I'll start
I'd
with
go
Jordan.
Jordan, Teoscar Hernandez, and Tommy Edman. That's what I would do in cash.
Very good. Brian says, I play the Madden DK Sims, and yes, I have a problem. Yeah, but that was the thing. That was like all they had during COVID, right?
COVID.
Yeah. But they have other things now.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
It's well said.
That's no longer a reason to play it now. Yeah.
The weirdest thing that ever happened to me in my life was during COVID. I was working for DraftKings, like doing forecasts for them for The Sims. They were like, the weather in this game is raining and windy.
Hold on. What do you mean? Would they tell you it's like we're playing this in actual Miami today? And you looked at the actual weather in Miami and that's what they had in The Sims?
No. They would intentionally make the weather a certain way. They'd be like, okay, in this game, they're playing in Buffalo. It's going to be 25-mile-per-hour winds and snow. And they would bring me on to break down how that will impact the video game, Right. It was.
I would like to go back to COVID and redo it and have you make it as if they were playing in the actual place that day.
Right.
It'd be a little better for you, but good
yeah,
stuff either way.
It was wild times, man. Wild times. Let's see. Acuna or Springer, Tim? What do you got?
They're both okay. I think I'd like Atlanta stack more, so I'd go Acuna.
Okay. Shout out. Devin says, I've won the $25 winner take all 3 out of the last 4 days. Good stuff. Is that what is that for?
He's probably
Call-
talking about
call-
CS2.
Yeah,
Oh,
call
okay.
strike.
All right.
Strike. He's probably talking about Strike V2.
Yeah, he's talking strike. Okay, let's see what else we got. Here we go. Cheese, Sale and a 4K first baseman, or Pavetta and a 3K first baseman, and DK Cash. Thanks, fellas. Much love. I appreciate you. P.S. The people rise with apt tides. You know, because a rising tide lifts all ships. Is
Sure.
the saying there.
So with that
anyways.
question, I have to think he has those numbers backwards because Sale is $1,000 more than Pavetta. If the question is like that, I don't understand the question because you can
No, he's got to have it backwards.
Yeah. And my preference would be Pavetta and spend more at first, assuming that that's what you meant.
Yeah. Okay. DKGPP, Tim, I'm stacking up the Dodges with Gilbert. Is a Colorado Mini different enough, or should I go up to Sale instead of Gilbert?
Yeah, Colorado's definitely different enough. Colorado's not going to be popular.
Yeah, very good. Right back to you, Tim. Yankee stack DK single entry.
They're fine. I do like Atlanta more, and obviously the Dodgers, but New York's good as well.
Yeah. Okay. Shout out to Rocky Raccoon. Oh, nice. Look at Mr. Bigglesworth. What's the cat's name again?
Roscoe.
Roscoe. I was close. Shout out to Rocky Raccoon because 5.5 months into MLB, you need things to just keep it a little interesting. And the question is this: Cheese, do you like a Ryan McHam in a little bacon wrapped wrap around ham hock home run stack?
So if you are stacking the Yankees, you pretty much need Ryan McMahon salary wise. And he probably strikes out 3 times, but maybe gets that home run too. So yes, I would put him in even a mini stack.
Okay, very good. Let's see. Cincinnati Reds chances to win. I think that's the question.
Like from a stacking DFS perspective?
Nope, I don't think so. I just think he
Okay.
wants to know the odds of them winning out of 1 to 10. So we're not giving, fancy odds.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, they're plus 122 in Vegas. I mean, 40%. 40%, you know?
Oh, okay. Yeah, 4 out of 10.
Yeah.
40.
Yeah.
Okay. That's about what I was thinking. All right. Cheese, do you have different thoughts there?
No, I do not.
Okay. 4 out of 10. Andrew says, Cheese, is it distasteful to play Kirk and Gunnar on FanDuel? Is it distasteful? Oh, F me. I get it. That is distasteful. And
I even deleted it.
Yeah, well, it's still there. All right. Correa or Vargas, Tim?
I'd go Correa. I mean, Correa's safer. They're both fine.
DK Cash, Tim, can I run 4 Houston bats with 3 Dodgers bats with Montgomery? You get the whole lineup there. 4 Houston bats, 3 Dodgers bats, and Montgomery.
I don't know if I love that. I'm curious to know who your pitchers are because I'm worried that you're attacking those really, really cheap Dodgers like Kiki, who I don't think is a good cash game play. So that's the only thing that worries me about that.
Yeah. Cheese got a couple questions for you. One from our friend Devin here. Oh, actually, Musa first. Correa or Vargas, Cheese?
Correa.
Dude, Roscoe looks so chill right now.
He's
That
very
is just
chill.
the happiest, chillest cat. Look at that.
He's purring very loudly.
Blending in seamlessly with the beard too. It's incredible.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's just,
I didn't even think of that. That's really excellent.
it really does. It's the same color. Oh, man. FanDuel, your favorite stack in single entry, 100 entries. Favorite stack for single entry, 100 entries. Okay, so he's got 100 people total. He's got one. Your favorite stack.
Like it's a smaller field,
Yeah.
single entry. Atlanta.
Okay, Cheese. I'm going to make you answer that as well.
I'll go Toronto.
Okay. Yankee stack, no Judge, plus a Houston stack, Tim. Yankee stack with no Judge and some Houston bats.
I'm fine with it.
Yeah. Okay.
It's pretty hard to play Judge, so I don't really hate that.
Okay. We're moments until the lock, and the questions are drying out. I'm going to give you another 30 seconds or so. Get your questions in. You got dinner plans, Cheese?
That depends on if anyone's here.
You don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
You're gonna like open the off and be like, anyway.
So I have a weird, unusual dinner plan. If no one's here, I'm actually gonna have a salad. I had a burger for lunch, and I actually got a bunch of. Yeah,
are you all right?
We've talked about this before. Like, I eat so much unhealthy stuff. Sometimes I do eat salad just for the staying alive for a few more years situation.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
good.
And
Good
I
for
did
you.
have a pretty sizable burger for lunch.
Will you have ice cream following the salad?
Oh yeah, what are you talking about?
Okay,
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Stick to what you know. Tim, if Roscoe were a DK player, what would his salary be? Would he be the chalk? Is that like a chalk pet, or is that
He'd be more than Ohtani. Definitely.
Yeah.
He should be 6,000, but DK wouldn't get it. He'd be 4,300 like Alvarez, and you'd have to
Right.
play him.
Yeah,
Right.
you have to lock him in at that price. I wish I had a good pet. That seems so nice. Flaherty over under 5.5 Ks. Cheese, Flaherty over under 5.5 Ks.
I'm gonna take over, and he still loses. I'm gonna go 6 Ks, 3 home runs.
Okay. DePrince says, Tim, FanDuel, Rojas or Jimenez?
Jimenez.
I don't think I was supposed to roll the sound in Jimenez. Snell or Rodon, I can use the 500. Tim, Snell or Rodon?
Snell or Rodon, I could use the 500. Yeah, I don't really like either of those guys tonight, but I mean, Snell's okay, so just play Snell.
It's harder to do, but Lizzie is just so jealous of this whole situation.
Look
Yeah,
at
now
that.
Roscoe's like, I can't.
Roscoe
I
leaves.
can't compete with
He's like,
that.
screw this.
He's
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
Look at that.
scared the
Dude.
cat right out of there.
I just
that
I
is
want a chill
fantastic.
pet. I don't have a chill pet. I have kids, and they're not very chill. They're great, but chill is not the way I would describe them. Man, that is just awesome. Look at that. It's like your dog is like a cat. She's just totally content.
Quite content with whatever we do. Yeah,
That is lovely.
she loves the ice cream too. When we finish a carton, it's lid night. So
Yeah.
if we get to lid night tonight, that's what she's hoping for.
Is that
Get in there.
a doodle?
It's a golden doodle. Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay.
Just the temperament of I just absolutely love a chill dog. Your final question. TJ says, we have a red tabby named Maples, Tim. The cat hates my guts, and I'm the nicest one to the cat, but loves my freaking wife who yells at her to get off of her. Why, Tim? Why?
I don't know. I mean, sounds like you're not very nice to Maples.
You don't know. Or sometimes cats prefer a little attitude.
That's true too.
Yeah,
Maybe you're trying too hard.
Right. Cats know. All right. Well, that was a glorious way to end the show. What's the doggy's name, Cheese?
This is Lizzie.
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 All right. Good stuff.
Fantastic.
Well, for
Very
Tim,
cute
for
Lizzie.
Cheese, for Lizzie, for our wonderful production crew, always working hard behind the scenes. Guys, we appreciate you. We love you. And we will catch you tomorrow. You have been pro.